Dragons, a brief history of the mythical fire-breathing beasts. Benjamin Radford on Life Science reports this. This is an image from the Game of Thrones, one of Daenerys' dragons. Dragons are among the most popular and enduring of the world's mythological creatures. Dragon tales are known in many cultures, from the Americas to Europe and from India to China. They have a long and rich history in many forms and continue to populate our books, films, and television shows. But it's not clear when or where stories of dragons first emerged, but the huge flying serpents were described at least as early as the age of the ancient Greeks and the Sumerians. Much for history, dragons were thought of as being like any other mythical animal, sometimes useful and protective, other times harmful and dangerous. That changed when Christianity spread across the world. Dragons took on a decidedly sinister interpretation and came to represent Satan, the snake. In medieval times, most people who heard anything about dragons knew them from the Bible, and it's likely that most Christians at the time believed in the literal existence of dragons. After all, Leviathan, the massive monster described in detail in the book of Job, chapter 41, does sound like a dragon. Quote, "Its back has arrows of shields tightly sealed together. Each is so close to the next of the other that no air can pass between them. They're joined fast to one another. They cling together and cannot be parted. Its snorting throws out flashes of light. Its eyes are like the rays of dawn. Flames stream from its mouth. Sparks of fire shout. Smoke pours from its nostrils as from a boiling pot over burning reeds, and its breath sets coals ablaze, and flames dart from its mouth." The belief in dragons was based not just in legend but also in hard evidence, or at least that's what people thought long ago. For a millennium, no one knew what to make of the giant bones that were occasionally unearthed around the globe, and dragons seemed a logical choice for people who had no knowledge of dinosaurs. Diversity among the dinosaurs? Though most people can easily picture a dragon, people's ideas and descriptions of dragons vary dramatically. Some dragons have wings, others don't. Some dragons can speak or breathe fire, others can't. Some are only a few feet long, others span miles. Some dragons live in palaces under the ocean, while others can only be found in caves and inside mountains. As folklorist Carol Rose discusses in her book Giants, Monsters, and Dragons, an encyclopedia of folklore, legend, and myth. This is published by Norton in 2001. Dragons, quote, have composite features from many other beasts, such as the head of an elephant in India and that of a lion or a bird of prey in the Middle East, or numerous heads of reptiles such as serpents. Their body color may range from green, red, black to unusually yellow, blue, or white dragons. Zoologist Carl Schuker describes a wide variety of dragons in his book Dragons, A Natural History, Simon and Schumer, 1995, including giant snakes, hydras, gargoyles, and dragon gods, and the more obscure variants such as basilisks, wyverns, and cockatrices. At its root is the chameleon. It features adapting to the cultural and literary expectations of the era. Dragons continue to capture the public's imagination in fantasy books and films, appearing in everything from the kid-friendly 2010 film How to Train Your Dragon to the more adult-oriented Game of Thrones books and TV series. And The Hobbit book and movies. The popular role-playing game Advanced Dungeons & Dragons describes more than a dozen varieties of dragons, each with unique personalities, powers, and other characteristics. Black dragons, for example, are fond of eels. Who knew? And dragons go all the way back. The word dragon comes from the ancient Greek word drakonta, meaning to watch, suggesting that the beast guards treasure such as mountains of gold, coins, or gems. But this does not really make sense because a creature as powerful as a dragon surely doesn't need to pay for anything, right? It's probably more of a symbolic treasure, not for the hoarding dragon, but instead a reward for the brave knights who would vanquish the evil beast. Dragons are one of the few monsters cast in mythology primarily as a powerful and fearsome opponent to be slain. They don't simply exist for their own sake, they exist largely as a foil for bold adventurers. Other mythical creatures such as the trolls, elves, fairies interact with people sometimes mischievously, sometimes helpfully, but their main role is not as a combatant. The Christian Church created legends of righteous and godly saints battling and vanquishing Satan in the form of dragons, the most celebrated of these being St. George the Dragon Slayer, who in legend comes upon a town threatened by a terrible dragon. He rescues a fair maiden, protects himself with the sign of the cross, and slays the beast. The town's citizen, impressed by St. George's feat of faith and bravery, immediately converted to Christianity. Vanquishing a dragon was not only an important career opportunity for an ambitious saint, knight, or hobbit, but according to legend, it was also a way to raise armies. As Michael Page and Robert Ingpen note in their Encyclopedia of Things That Never Were, Viking Penguin 1987, quote, "The use of dragon's teeth provides a simple method of expanding the armed forces of any country. It was first practiced by Cadmus, king of the Thebes. First, prepare a piece of ground as though for sowing grain. Next, catch and kill any convenient dragon and draw all its teeth. Sow these in the furrows you have prepared, cover lightly and stand well away," end quote. Easy peasy, right? Next, the veterans warriors, clad in bronze armor and armed with swords and shields, emerge rapidly from the earth and stand in ranks according to the way in which the dragon's teeth were sown. Apparently, these Draconis dendata soldiers are a quarrelsome lot and will turn on each other, liking a ready enemy, so if you plan to do this, be sure your adversaries are nearby. Scholars believe that the fire-breathing element of dragons came from medieval depictions of the mouth of hell. For example, art by Dutch painter Hieronymus Bosch, among others. The entrance to hell was often depicted as a monster's literal mouth, with the flames and smoke characteristic of Hades belching out. If one believes not only the literal existence of hell, but also the literal existence of dragons as satanic, the association is quite logical. So are they real? Medieval theology aside, few people today believe in the literal existence of dragons in the way they may believe in the existence of Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, for example. The dragon, or at least the dragon version most familiar to Westerners, is simply too big and too fantastic to take seriously or literally. In the modern age of satellite imagery and smartphone photos and videos, it's simply implausible that any giant winged fire-breathing inhabited Earth's lands or skies unseen. However, only a few centuries ago, rumors of dragons seem to have been confirmed by witness accounts from sailors returning from Indonesia who reportedly encountered dragons. Komodo dragons, a type of a monitor lizard, which can be aggressive, deadly, and reach 10 feet in length. In a possible parallel to dragons, it was previously believed that the bite of a Komodo dragon was especially deadly because of toxic bacteria in its mouth, though that myth was debunked in 2013 by a team of researchers from the University of Queensland who discovered that the Komodo dragon's mouths are no dirtier than those of other carnivores. When Western scientists only verified the existence of the Komodo dragon around 1910, but rumors and stories of these fearsome beasts circulated long before that. Dragons, in one form or another, have been around for millennia, though epic fantasy fiction by J.R.R. Tolkien and others, dragons have continued to spark our collective imagination and, unlike the dinosaurs that help inspire stories about them, show no sign of dying out. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, You will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.